His hair's messy, but
That gets all tangled and
I
knotted
was
up.
gonna say you need to brush. It's called brush. You should try it. How's this chair?
Mom, we're live.
Okay, that's.
Sora says, "Hold on my way to fix YouTube," and sent the YouTube picture along with the monkey with the hammer. Hey, look at that! It's working now, and it's back. Good job, Sora.
Yay.
Okay. Anyway, so
So, what was the Phoenix, right? Last time, things were all over the place.
things were all over the place. Good way to put it.
That sounds like our game.
Right? Why are we playing this game in the middle of this game?
We're playing the same game.
That made zero sense to me, but alright. So, what happened last time was...
We turned the volume down.
Remember, she's deaf too. Everything's always loud.
So basically,
What happened last time?
we're trying to find Maya
Right.
in the middle of the last day of court.
Yep.
Well, it's the last day we're gonna get. And,
Oh my god. Because the heater's on.
what else, what else?
You don't remember what happened at the end, pal?
Oh yeah, for some... Why did... Gumshoe got in a car accident?
Because he was trying to rush over with evidence.
Yeah.
I love how the pointing finger is the
Right.
right there, front and center. Oh, in the mouth. Well, you better figure it out. Get moving, you guys.
And there's only one person who can help us.
Solve a murder already. Or
So,
whatever.
take it away, Sean.
Robbery. Is it a murder or a robbery?
Oh, it's always a murder.
It's always a murder?
Always a murder.
Is it? I thought sometimes it was robberies. Didn't you do robberies? On the DSP?
Maybe in the one that I am waiting on for my birthday.
That you'll never see. Alright, gotcha.
I really hope they'll remake the other games too, said Sora. Yeah. Like the one on Wii? Yeah. And Sabina, Queen of Galler Ponytas, asks, how's the game?
It is okay, but like I said, there's only one person who can help us to actually continue it.
Right. March 23rd, 2:35 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3.
Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth?
That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth?
Looks like something unexpected just happened to him.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note.
Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that the suicide note is a forgery. What?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This note was not written by Miss Impacts herself. It is a fake.
Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impacts, then who wrote it?
We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Carita. Mr. Carita?
Oh well. It looks like Miss Impact never left the suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about Unguard.
However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Ungar could not have known that, and so that fact remains unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it.
That does sound very plausible.
This theory that Unguard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Is there a way that he would have known that the suicide note was fake? This time we have Sora to help us. Do we present evidence or back down?
I don't know.
Something that proves that he knew that it was a fake. She still loved him. I'm thinking.
So what are we trying to prove?
We have to prove, well, either we decide to prove or we decide not to prove that Matt already knew the suicide note was fake. That's the only thing I can think of.
The photo?
Yeah, because she obviously loved him. And he clearly wouldn't use her if he kept that picture all this time. So she didn't kill herself because he used her. So he'd know that the suicide note saying, I killed myself because Matt Ungar just used me and then left me, would be fake. Because he's like, no, I was still in love with her. Only thing I can think of.
Try it.
The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. Ungard to not have known it was a fake. I was wrong.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, your response?
I believe that even more important than finding out if this note is real or not is whether the attorney's badge pinned to that man's chest is real. That was wrong. Sora, help!
Don't help them.
Sora, help!
No. Make them figure it out.
Don't listen to her.
Don't listen to Mama Koi.
Listen to your mother.
You're not his mother.
Adopted mother.
Adopted mother.
He already has a mother.
Listen to your adoptive mother. He says never. Is that never to helping us or never to listening to her? What happens if we back down and let him just keep talking? It's no use. Something feels wrong, but I can't put my finger on what it is.
Actually, there is something I would like to ask.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Edgeworth, you'd stated something earlier to the effect of the defendant had spied on Mr. Kurita's private life. I believe this would mean that he would have known about the note as well.
That's it. Yes, and so naturally, I shall never help you until you make me angry. This means Mr. Ungard would have known that the note was a fake.
So we could just pretend it's a camera and things are just like...
Yes.
Order, order. See here, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
I was the one who thought of the spying thing. Jumping in and stealing my thunder like that is simply... I can't even describe it.
Yes. Sorry.
I could have even bragged about embarrassing Mr. Edgeworth to my grandchild had you not. For that, I assign you a penalty, Mr. Wright.
We got a penalty because we agreed with him. What? If only I kept my mouth shut.
So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way.
But that camera that we've got only recorded for an hour. So unless you're saying he left the show, went back to his room, and immediately scribbled out the note and put it in the bear, there's no way that he would know that Juan wrote the note. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory is as to what Mr. Ungard's motive for murder was suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Ungard monitored Mr. Kurita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Ungard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place?
Dad! Go get that.
Order, order, order! Mr. Edgeworth, it looks like this time it is you who's dug his own grave.
As I figured.
Huh? As you figured.
As I figured, it came down to this after all.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're not making any sense.
When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Ungard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle.
Well, I agree with you there.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time.
Oh, well, that's fine.
However, this witness is a little unusual.
Please don't be Wendy.
Do I need to go get the pot?
Maybe.
Edgeworth's stuttering? This is not like him at all.
Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this
Wendy, isn't it?
person, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's Wendy, isn't it?
This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of, who was it that hired Shelley to kill her to commit murder? That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness?
Is it Shu? It's
Yes, go on. Who is it?
The man himself, Mr. Shelley the Killer. What?
What?
Oh, Mr. the Killer. Wait! Shelley the Killer? You mean the killer? The assassin.
Yes, Your Honor.
He's coming here, to the witness stand.
Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission.
Well, Mr. Wright,
Yes?
is this all right with you?
Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor.
I wonder if it really is all right to do this.
Is he going to show up on like a TV screen? Or are we just going to take the walkie-talkie and put it on the witness stand? Very well then. The prosecution calls this witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your occupation, please. Yup. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm a professional assassin.
I say, what is going on here?
Your Honor?
How can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio?
Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. Anyways, let's see who did it. Yeah. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about.
Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself.
Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are, in fact, Shelley the Killer.
I understand. Please wait a second.
Oh no. I'm so hungry.
Maya!
Maya!
A voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this?
The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer.
It looks like we've run into yet another unexpected turn of events.
This game interesting. Yeah, it is, Sabina.
Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so...
Now then, witness. There's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else.
And what would that be?
At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Carita. Is this correct?
It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Carita.
Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client.
Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it, a bad dream.
Oh, dang, man.
Well, to be fair, at least we're not having an actual serial killer assassin guy to the court. That would be just dangerous. Far too dangerous.
Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say?
I don't know.
About my client. There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself.
Perfect.
And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client.
Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us.
No, just you, Your Honor. Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He's no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief.
You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's no way to know what's coming next. So stay cool and collected. Yeah. So stay cool and collected, Phoenix.
There is something I must first state.
We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your client's...
I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means?
Sorry. Go on.
Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright.
That's only because you don't know about my situation.
To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself.
The trust between you and your client.
I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome.
Well, now, like, at least 7 people know your face, dude.
And that is why you're testifying in this manner.
This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me.
But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust?
It has never happened before, but if it ever did, I'd stab them in the back right back. Literally.
Yes.
That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly...
That's enough. Please, no more.
Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand.
That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them.
It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role.
Their role?
This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven.
Oh, so he broke the rules. Or whoever his client is broke the rules. Because, well, the rule is you don't tell anyone what I look like or who I am. I won't let you get in trouble. I'll kill the person for you. Oh, also one other rule. Don't mess with the crime scene. Don't try and blame someone else for it. I will take credit for the murder.
You. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty?
To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, would you care to die?
Would you like to die?
No, I didn't say anything.
The judge had better watch himself.
We are talking to a hitman.
Right. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client.
We understand, so please tell us the name of your client.
I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do.
That egomaniacal...
It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You wouldn't live very long if you let everything bother you.
Somehow, that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. Do you want to die?
What is that quoting?
Something you'll learn about long time. Because first, Mom and I have to beat all the games. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. Just tell us the name already.
Patience. Try to stay calm a little. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very He's
Steadfast.
steadfast? What does
Yep.
that mean?
Means stubborn. He's not gonna change.
Steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work. So you're going to have to work to get him to talk.
I'm not a therapist, you know.
There's something I must first state.
Okay. We've pressed on everything. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. I don't know.
Neither do I. Also, what is that little red needle thing?
It's basically it's scanning the channel of the radio wave. Sora, help! Well, this guy's going. There's something you have to understand first. There's a certain amount of trust between my client and myself. That's why I'm here today. What are we supposed to present to that?
He doesn't trust us.
No, he doesn't. He flat out admitted that.
A certain amount of trust is zero.
Yeah, but we don't have anything that proves that he doesn't trust his client. Yeah, but we can't. We can't. We tried basically questioning him on everything he said. It didn't work.
Can you pull me up?
I can indeed pull you up. Ugh. Did you press everything? Yes.
Judging by his like frustrated grunting sound, I'd say it's one of those obvious things that's literally right in front of our face.
Oh,
and we
of
just
course. It
can't-
usually is.
So we just can't figure out because we're dumb. Because we're dumb.
Oh, right. Sometimes you need to press a little further. Specifically on second statements. The trust between you and your client.
I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. These are the roles and duties to an assassin and his client are to carry out.
I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. Duh.
A person who frames another is the worst kind of human.
And that's why you feel you can betray this person.
I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role.
It's not very obvious. It's weird, and I don't think it happens again. Cool. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured?
Now then,
Consciences, they have moral code.
Right?
everyone, do you think you can understand my logic?
This case just keeps getting better and better.
If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed.
Everyone understands your point, I think. Really.
In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek.
You've made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we're ready.
Excellent. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. Now then, I do believe it's about time I revealed the name of my client. Don't you agree?
What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Carita?
That person's name is...
Classified.
What?
Classified.
Adrian Andrews.
What? Witness. That's not who you told me it was earlier.
Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews.
What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here?
My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back.
Stabbed Edgeworth in the back.
I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Matt Ungar, perhaps?
Sora wants to show you this.
Oh, that's cute. Dinosaurs. They have like yarn and wool.
They're, erasers.
Oh, they're erasers.
Mm-hmm.
That is adorable. I love it.
I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie.
But you were the one who summoned this witness.
You, Shelley the Killer.
My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt Ungar, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal.
Wow.
I collect erasers, he says.
I collect pop and tiny snow globes that Dad brings me.
Right?
Because he, like, transport cars everywhere, all over. Definitely not all over state of Maine. He's gone outside state of Maine.
Oh, yeah.
And, just the United States, in period. And North America. I think. Yeah, that sounds right. And he gives me tiny snow globes every time. And I've grown quite attached to them, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of them. And he started giving me skulls, but then he just stopped. Like fake skulls. Koala and an elephant eraser? Okay, that's an elephant. What is that?
Squirrel.
That is a squirrel! Where are you getting all these adorable erasers?
No, the one in the pond. Which one? Where is it? I don't know where in the pond it is. I buy them from a dollar store, basically. In the art channel.
Huh. What's the art channel?
In the pond. Oh, you mean the... Oh, right.
Penguin. Giraffe. puzzled.
I might go buy more tomorrow.
Okay. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this.
Yeah.
The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided a suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But more definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. the Killer's client, who requested the murder, was not the defendant at all.
No.
With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt on guard is innocent.
I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please, continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict.
Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately.
But now, with the way this is going, Ungar will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya.
Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And on guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this?
Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant?
Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the killer is certainly lying under oath.
It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now. It was all one big lie.
Miss Andrews.
The suicide note may have been a fake. But that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death. It was all because he did this. It was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now. You have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie.
But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client.
No, that's not true.
Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button, donning the Nickel Samurai costume.
But that's...
You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impax was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead.
No. Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please, help me.
Now she's depending on us. Yes, I know the truth.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions.
I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
Well, Maya even said, you better get a guilty verdict for Matt.
Yeah, but then she can't last another day.
No, she can't. So it all depends on, do you trust Franziska to be able to get Gumshoe and bring us the evidence?
See, that's what I'm getting stuck on. Should we trust Franziska?
What do you value more? Maya or the truth? I'm gray now. That's my attack.
I don't know.
Well, what have we been doing this whole trial?
For Maya's sake.
I meant stalling, but...
Oh yeah, stalling as well. Stalling. That's it.
We just have to keep stalling.
I just hope she's quick enough. Phoenix.
I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty.
You are a lawyer.
I know. But Madame Guard is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I'm no better than on guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten on guard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'll be betraying his trust. His trust? Never thought about it until now. I trust him?
Yes, you do.
Her prefrontal cortex is working so hard right now because that's where emotion and cognition interact. Ah. So we're saying this part of your brain is working so hard right now because that's where thinking skills and feelings clash. And you're like, do I save Maya? Or do I get at the guilty verdict?
Mr. Wright, your opinion, please.
The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller.
Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright?
Right.
But, that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done.
I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth, that is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur.
Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please reestablish connection with Mr. DeKiller.
Right away, Your Honor.
Has a verdict been reached?
Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more.
About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for?
Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done?
But what shall we have him testify about now?
Mr. DeKiller, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail.
You were legal people in your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court?
About my client, part 2.
As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules.
This is the most unexpected turn of events for the, 5th time now? However, this time, everything has finally been revealed.
Just a second, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
We still have the cross-examination to do.
But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here.
Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then
I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose.
I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That makes two of us.
As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However,
What is it, Mr. Wright?
If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit.
yes,
How much is your fee?
I see you're also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney.
Huh?
If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial.
Okay.
No. I'm not thinking of hiring...
Mr. Wright!
Yes?
You want to kill me. You want me dead, don't you?
What? Why would you think that you're...
Guilty! Mr. Phoenix Wright, you're hereby declared guilty!
Witness, let's continue.
The judge has problems. The judge has issues.
Right? Why did you disclose the name of your client? They're your client, are they not?
One thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime.
I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill.
If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job.
Yeah. Well, change in occupation might be good for you.
However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party.
That goes without saying, Mr. DeKiller.
And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought they could run away from their guilt.
That's why.
My client did it to frame another for the crime.
Are you talking about the button and the knife?
Yes, and my business card.
Oh, this card.
So that no one has to waste their time, including the police, I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible.
You try to make things easy.
My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service.
He's pretty devoted to his work.
But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook.
It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here.
While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene.
So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing?
That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too.
No, I already told you. I have no intention of using your services. Ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? You said it, girl. Yes, let's win it, Mia. What?
Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead.
From the very beginning.
That is correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times.
I wonder if that's really true. That's odd.
But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button.
So why do you think your client did that?
What do you mean by why?
Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway?
That is true.
I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungar.
If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it?
Sadly, that is not possible.
Huh?
My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules.
And that's all you had to testify?
Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again.
Again? As in you plan to continue?
I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney?
Excuse me? No. I'm fine, really.
Are you really now?
I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now.
What are you going to do now, Penis?
All I can do now is expose the lies.
That's true. However, you realize that will be very bad for your client, right?
I'm so confused. But the one thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet.
I need to take these off. Can you just grab Dad or something?
I can take them off.
Ow, why do my fingers hurt?
I don't know. Alright, so where's the contradiction?
I don't know.
I think I know.
Do you?
If she already knew from the beginning that he was dead, then she'd try and hide that she was there, right?
Yeah.
And if she was trying to hide that she was there,
The wine glass.
she wouldn't leave fingerprints behind, right? Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. DeKiller.
What is the meaning of that attitude?
When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Carita had been murdered.
But how do you know that?
From this wine glass, Your Honor. The gloves. Mr. DeKiller's supposed client thought Mr. Carita had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim.
But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan?
That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind.
I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon?
Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct?
I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Carita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all.
How strange.
Yes?
Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation?
Phoenix. If the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble.
Yeah, I know. We have to object to it. Otherwise, he'll go,
Oh, Maya, come here.
so we have to... Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry.
Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you.
Anyway, I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. The roles have flipped. Now he's the one who's on his back foot, being pressed, going, you need evidence. Prove it. You can't just say things without having proof. Come on.
But
Very
then,
well.
But then at the same time, we're like winking at him, like, come on.
Yeah, just keep it going a little bit longer until we can get to Gumshoe.
Remember, stall.
Right? Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Watch, it's going to be like a rubber duck and a pencil. It's like, yes, the items that we finally... What are those?
Well, I thought they might be helpful, pal.
Request taking.
This request came to me about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes.
So you physically met your client, huh?
That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
This request came to me about a week ago.
1 week ago. Are you sure?
Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind.
Please, stop.
In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind.
A specific date and time.
It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony.
Did you ask why on that specific night?
No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why, I only had my suspicions.
Your suspicions, huh? Do we press further or let it go?
What do you think?
So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night?
I'm sure it was all for the bear.
The bear?
My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Corrida's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me.
You must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference, after all.
That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was.
I see.
Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
It was very important, or it was not important?
Everything we learned about the trials has been a lie.
Okay.
In other words, I don't know anymore.
The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet?
Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that.
Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony.
Hey, it's helping.
Right? We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters.
So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right?
Of course I did.
What was that? What was with the brief pause? Well, I didn't know that was an option. Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details.
I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail.
And why is that?
That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye.
Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
I think we just say that everything's important. We just gotta stall. Of course, it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. the Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he's mistaken.
So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews?
I guess so.
You see, it's just as I said.
I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here?
Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax.
Now then, would the witness please continue?
That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes.
So your client was Adrian Andrews.
That is correct.
Well, he says the two of them met. But if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around.
You have to draw more information from him. But you can't draw his suspicion. You can do that. If you can do that, you should be able to find a draw his testimony somewhere.
I'm just going to preemptively say Sora help. Talk about a delicate balance.
Why?
Because I don't... Sora says, I remember this! Help us, Sora. Like, we have to prove that he made a mistake. But he didn't say anything. Unless, like, Adrian was out of town a week ago. Or something.
So then how we prove that?
But we've got no proof of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or if she, like, hates alcohol. So she wouldn't go to a bar.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't drink. Maybe she doesn't drink.
Can we believe that your testimony up to this point has been reliable? Maybe press some statements again? I thought I had, but I'll press everything again. 1 week ago, are you sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations. I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind.
Please, stop.
In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind.
A specific date and time. It should be very obvious. Did you ask why on that specific night?
No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why, I only had my suspicions.
Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night?
I'm sure it was all for the bear.
The bear.
My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Carita's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me.
You must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose the contents of the press conference, after all.
That's correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was.
I see. Testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is... The client knew the secret of the bear figurine. It should be very obvious, but... Has to be some evidence that we have to show to the walkie-talkie. Okay, we've pressed on everything.
That sounds so weird.
Like, if it let us present evidence when he said, I wouldn't know where the bear would be after that, then we could prove it. Because the bear is covered in scratches. But we can't. Things that are very obvious to some people aren't obvious to us, Sora. Just so you know.
We can be slow sometimes. We can be very slow.
Hold, he says. Because I'm thinking, well, he would have had to have done it on the night of the ceremony because the press conference. Sora says hold.
Wait,
What?
go to evidence. Go right. Again. Again. Try this.
That's what I just tried.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
You went so quickly, I didn't see you.
1, 2, 3. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? I actually entertained this idea for a second.
Of course I did.
What was that? What was that? What was with the brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details.
I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail.
And why is that?
That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye.
Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions.
What do you mean by that?
My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person?
I've already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought, I can trust this person as a client.
It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
Him? I'm sorry.
If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Oh my god, he's not lying. He's not lying. The killer's not lying.
About what?
He said that he met Adrian Andrews.
Yeah.
And Adrian Andrews hired the hit. Got the hit. He's not lying. You'll figure it out in a second. Also, thank you, Sora. He'd said, press on 3, say it isn't important. I thought about doing that, but I hadn't gotten around to it, and I went, that's stupid, why would that work? Now, I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance.
Huh? Really?
If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony.
Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought I can trust this person as a client.
What are you talking about? But as we know now, that was not how it turned out, correct?
What do you mean?
Adrian Andrews turned out to be a client who couldn't stick to the rules, right?
Well, yes. I suppose you are correct.
So I'd like to check one last time. Are you sure your testimony is accurate?
That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes.
Oh, a professional assassin always leaves a Shelley card near his victim's body. Now the question is, what do we press? Do we present this? Yes, okay.
Okay.
I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time.
Yes, that is correct.
And that's when you thought he was trustworthy.
How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct.
I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale.
What?
Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews.
Why would you say that?
Because you made one very big slip-up. About her.
So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her?
If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman.
Oh!
Did that thing just explode?
Yes.
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
This witness testified to the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request.
But he's never met Adrian Andrews in person.
Yes, Your Honor. That is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews.
Ugh.
The walkie-talkie is sweating oil.
That's disturbing.
Mr. Edgeworth,
That
I
was
understand your
high.
logic on this one.
That was highly disturbing. It looks like urine.
However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake?
I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor.
Her name?
Yes, Adrian Andrews is, without a doubt, a very androgynous name.
What does that mean?
Yes, I see.
It means it can be a boy or a girl name. Unluckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. We never said Miss Adrian Andrews. We never said she or her. We always just said Adrian Andrews. So he thought that Adrian was a guy. Now, why would he think Adrian is a guy?
Because Adrian is more. She's usually a guy name.
Yeah, but if so, what guy did he actually meet? Like, my name's totally Adrian Andrews, dude. And so, he simply picked the wrong gender to go with.
What? What is going on? Shelley the Killer. This court demands an explanation.
I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another.
So does that mean you remember something different now?
Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more.
I know he's just going to spit out more lies.
Very well. But this time, please give us the truth, and nothing but the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Huh?
It immediately popped in my head.
I don't get it.
There's a movie that at the end of the movie they're like, tell us the truth and the whole truth, and then the guy goes, you can't handle the truth.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Request taken, part 2.
Yes, now I remember. I took their request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I found my client to be a man.
Wow.
So you took this job through a letter.
He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he's definitely lying.
Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us.
I know. I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. So we can't break the killer's testimony, because anything we say, Edgeworth is going to counter and object to. So we're safe.
Now then, let's begin the cross-examination.
For once, we want Edgeworth to argue with us.
That laugh, says Sora.
That was my evil laugh.
Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail.
But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients?
Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible.
But didn't you meet your client this time?
No, I did not.
Oh, come now. Let's stop with this game of cat and mouse.
Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me.
Alright then, just cough it up and confess.
Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one, and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. DeKiller met with his client?
Oh, yes, we do.
What, we do?
We don't know how to prove it.
What proof do we have?
I was gonna say Will's testimony.
Oh,
Yeah, Will Powers.
right. Sorry, Your Honor, unfortunately I don't have any proof.
I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time.
Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong.
There have been times when I took a job without having met my client.
And why would you not meet certain clients? Oh yeah, says Sora.
Recently, I've been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities.
Nice business opportunities.
On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information in computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times, and now take requests via electronic mail.
It's called an email.
Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope?
I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email.
Email?
In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot, hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and?
The request was for the murder of Juan Carita and 2 or 3 other small things.
You wish you had this game, Sabina? 2 or 3 other things. It's for sale. It's on Switch and PS4.
Yes.
And 3DS, I think. And what were these other things?
A few other things that have nothing to do with this case.
What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Press. Let's find out what else he was doing. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide.
Mr. Attorney,
Yes?
everything I've said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client, which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you're planning to betray your own client?
That's...
I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one,
What?
Just banana bread. Not bad.
It's just banana bread. Oh, Phoenix, your face doesn't surprise me, Phoenix. Wait! Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing?
I don't know anymore.
Let it go. The killer sounds like one sharp man. I should try to find a better way to do this without making him suspicious.
Let's continue with the testimony. Witness, if you please.
When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man.
So you're saying that you never saw your client's face? Not even once?
I did. Once. It was when I went to give my client the figurine.
Yes, I see.
But Miss Andrews was wearing a mask at the time.
A mask.
The Nickel Samurai mask, I'm guessing. Again, he did it again. Did what?
Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? Do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
Is there a contradiction?
I don't know. I'm usually the one to ask you.
Well, you're the one who brought it up to begin with.
How am I the one who... What?
Will's testimony. I've only met him once. And that was when I gave him the bear. What about when the butler got a tip?
That's just it. I don't know how to prove that.
We'll say there's contradiction. One thing does sort of stick out at me, Your Honor. Witness, I think you most definitely saw your client's face. Let's recall Mr. Powers' testimony.
After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his Nickel Samurai costume. Matt gave the bellboy a tip.
You received quite a large roll of cash from Mr. Ungard, and at the time, he was not wearing his Nickel Samurai mask.
Order! Order! Yes, now that you mentioned it, I do remember that. Witness!
Yes, that night I did wander the floor as a bellboy. I received plenty of tips that night for carrying juice to the various rooms. Is that so wrong?
Huh?
The man who gave me that tip was not my client. He was probably just a very generous person.
I'm sorry, but sadly we are not nearly so generous here. Sora says, BRB. If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? Oh, the deja vu. And isn't a salary more than enough for one man?
And where's your evidence that the large roll of cash was not in fact a tip? Come, Mr. Edgeworth, show me the money.
What?
Mr. Attorney,
Yes?
you know, I think your line of questioning has been a little strange. In fact, I would say you don't seem to believe Miss Andrews is my client.
Oh, no, it's not like that at all. I just think lies aren't a good thing, you know?
Oh, I know and agree. Lies are not a good thing at all. I think we are on the same page now, aren't we, Mr. Attorney? Remember, if I feel threatened in any way, I'm free to cut contact at any time.
I'm sorry. Please forgive my foolishness.
If only you were this apologetic all the time.
Sabina, Queen of Galler Ponyta, says, bless you.
There you go.
You might want to narrow down the name.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do not see a huge contradiction here. Therefore, you may continue, witness.
Pretty much reached the end. We pretty much reached the end of our rope here.
Huh? Seems like we're still okay to me.
And that's exactly what's so bad. At the rate we're going, we'll end up completely destroying the killer's lot. If we do that, you already know how serious of a situation Mel was in.
Oh, yeah. All I can do now is pray that those items reach us in time. I didn't meet him. Do we have proof that he met with his client? I mean, Will Powers' testimony, but... Of course, Sora left when we get stuck. We always have impeccable timing. What happens if we say we've got proof? We've come this far. I have to try to prove something here. Very well. I'll show you proof.
Are you sure about this, Phoenix?
No. Here's the proof that the witness met with his client, who wished Mr. Kurita dead. I don't know. This is a long case. Yeah. What? Oh, she's got to leave soon? Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna leave in like 15 minutes. Ah, my nose.
But what? So, what do you think?
Cool, it matches.
You may say, what do you think? However, I am, for all intents and purposes, a transceiver radio.
Oh, that's right. You can't actually see the evidence.
Well, I don't think this was what I needed to see. I can hear the pure silence in the air there.
Ugh, how could I have picked the wrong piece at a time like this?
In any case, let's continue with the testimony.
A little higher.
I think maybe we do have to press on what the 2 or 3 things are.
You say right?
Yes. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were.
If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine.
The bear figurine.
After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing.
And? Where was that figurine?
It was inside Mr. Kurita's suitcase.
And then, what did you do next?
I handed it over to my client right away.
You gave it to your client. Interesting.
This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony.
As you wish.
Phew!
One of these was to find the bear figurine and give it to Adrian Andrews.
I found this figurine at Mr. Ungard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was he doing there?
I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Ungard, I'm sure.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
Is there any contradiction with him saying, well, yeah. Maybe? I don't know. We'll say there's a contradiction. So DeKiller says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews. But I know somewhere in that statement there's a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here,
He'll cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, you have to present strong evidence.
she's right. So now what, Dr. Wright? Present evidence or think it over again?
I know, and I texted her too, and she actually told me correctly. So, yeah.
Witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at Ungard Mansion. Is that correct?
Yes? Where are you going with this?
Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly.
What?
This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it's possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear.
What's the recipient?
The person who got the bear. She couldn't have been the one to get the bear. Because she would have opened it, I would assume. Right? Because she knows how to open it, so she would have opened it. Can you think of another idea?
Please stop that.
I'm waiting for an answer.
I don't know.
Shelley DeKiller, if you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it, because she would have opened it up and found the note.
This item?
I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going.
Where's everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase?
Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony.
I need a drink.
Sora says he's making bracelets. It's kind of fun. Sora made it back before we have to stop. Are you going to drink the whole gallon there? Jeez. Gesundheit, Mama Koi.
I was going to burn it for her sake.
If even for a single minute this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Because she even said she knew the note was in there.
Order! 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 So that's where you two were going.
So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, It tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle.
Which means?
It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client.
Oh!
Remember your dying G's. All right. Gezondheid. Order! Order! Order!
Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement.
No, that's not...
That's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do.
Wait, please.
Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
No, please. Not that. Please wait.
Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand. Otherwise...
What in the... Mr. Wright? Are you... Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there's a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough?
Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... He just looked over at us and went, yeah, well, I think we should... Oh, crap. Phoenix is like, oh, okay. The prosecution,
What has come over everyone? Even you are...
Prosecution rests.
What is going on around here?
The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor.
What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then, even though I'm reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
if I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Madame Guard, will be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews will be charged with murder.
Miss Andrews will be charged with murder.
The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant Matt Ungard to the stand.
The items from the killer's hideout didn't make him. They tried as hard as we could. But it looks like our time has run out.
Can't believe it.
The outcome now lies in our hands.
In your hands.
On your hands. I missed the why.
Dude, did the only guy finally decide? And we'll stop it right there. You've got therapy, I guess. We'll do a couple more. Thanks.
To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You've done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent.
So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out.
Mr. Ungard?
What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap. It's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life?
alright? You better get on guard and guilty service, okay?
But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt on Guard, is innocent.
There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer's gonna say what I want. Aren't you? Right? I can't do this. But I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt on Guard, is... We'll stop right there.
We can't even.
Oh, I saved a couple texts ago, remember? We'll stop it right here.
You are the worst. The absolute worst.
This will give you 4 days to think about whether we're going to say he's guilty or not guilty. Listen, you've got therapy. There's no way around it. Otherwise, we probably would finish this trial tonight, I'm sure.
I don't want to go to therapy though.
Don't tell me that. It's not up to me.
Dad's just gonna say no, we gotta go.
Well, I'm not the one you have to convince. Sabina, Queen of Galar Ponyta, says, I'm saying this right now, he's guilty. Guilty as charged. But if we declare him guilty, then we can't save Maya. And this will give you a nice thing to hem and haw over for 4 days. You can weigh the pros and the cons. Figure out, is it better to go with justice and Maya's wishes, or to save Maya's life? If we save Maya's life, Adrian, who we're pretty sure is innocent, will get killed. Right? Well, yeah, and we're out of time, right? Yeah. Yeah. She's like, I don't want to go.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, when you get back, I'll have fresh baked banana bread for you.
She says.
Fine. Then I won't.
Outro. Listen, I'm not happy about it either, okay? But then we know what we're streaming on Friday. And by then, hopefully, one of us will have an answer. Because right now, I don't know which one to pick. Do you? Exactly. So this will give us a couple days to, like, both think and go, All right, let's see. Do we go with Maya? Do we save Maya? Do we sacrifice Maya? Do we go with justice? Do we put an innocent person on death row? What do we do? Because this is a tough decision. Sora says, I know.
You better give us at least a hint next time,
Right?
Sora, or you're dead. Like, seriously, I'm gonna go straight over to the Netherlands and kick your butt.
Oh, she's going to kick your butt. So maybe you shouldn't give a hint so that she gets out of her bed. He says, Z. I can't hear you. I'm asleep.
Sure.
Outro. Oh no, whatever will I do?
Okay, guys, I guess we have to stop there for now. Even though no one wants to.
Right.
So yeah, so. And I really don't want to go to PC.
It helps you get stronger.
Yeah, sure, you're welcome, whatever.
Yeah, but I'm exhausted after everything today.
Oh, I bet.
Appreciate it.
But anyway, yeah, we expect a hint on Friday, Sora.
Otherwise, you're banned from our streams. I'm banning you.
Wow. No, just kick his butt.
I'll do both.
Dad's here, so.
Yeah,
He's gonna come out and, like-
Sorry, I was in the middle of doing stuff.
Okay.
What you call it? I'm
Okay.
like right in the
Already
middle of
late.
frying chicken
So,
and
we hope to see you
making banana
Friday
bread.
for some more.
I'm like,
So,
oh my god.
bye
Stop now.
I know, I was getting ready to walk out
Farewell.
the world anyways. And thinking I hadn't heard from her, so I wasn't like in a rush.